God, what a fucking week in the NFL. Another really, really outsizedly weird week in the National Football League. I don't have much more to say than that. I'm adjusting our overall win-loss records from last week because it's Tuesday. We're actually doing this on a Tuesday for once, which means, fingers crossed, should be out by Thursday, hopefully. God, what a fucking week in the NFL. I'll just hedge this at the start of the episode. I made 500 by one game. We collectively went 500 in the 10 games that we agreed on last week. You missed 500 by a single game. The games that we disagreed on last week, Jets-Dolphins was the one that I got wrong and you got right. You picked the Dolphins, I picked the Jets. I picked the Jaguars over the Colts and the Texans over the Chiefs. Both of those ended up happening in really entertaining games, honestly. Sunday Night Football between the Texans and the Chiefs, really, really good game. Texans defense asserted itself. The Texans offense tried its best.
They did enough.
The Texans are kind of the idealized versions of the Eagles at this point in the season, with a defense that is suffocating and an offense that can do enough to win.
Yeah, they do kind of remind me a little bit. Right now, they do remind me a little bit of the early season Eagles when the Eagles were kind of following that same track where they were winning, but it wasn't the most convincing.
Yeah.
It was the format of defense was doing a really great job and the offense was just doing enough of what they needed to.
Now, our first headline, you all saw the thumbnail, right? You know we're talking about injuries this week. Daniel Jones tore his Achilles, and he was already playing on a broken leg. A broken fibula, specifically, in his plant leg. And then he went and tore his Achilles. Now, it was announced today that the Colts are signing 44-year-old grandfather Phillip Rivers to the practice squad.
First grandpa in the NFL?
I want to say that can't possibly be true.
I mean,
many people have played.
Only the players that I can think of that are old enough.
Brady's kids are too young.
Are like Adam Vinatieri. That's just he retired at like 47.
But even then, in your 40s and a grandparent is really, really, really young.
Yeah.
At least
could be first if he makes the Colts main roster either sometime this week or sometime next week. He might very well be the first grandfather in the NFL.
Now, important to note, Rivers being signed to the practice squad does not mess with his Hall of Fame eligibility.
Yeah, he's got to get signed to that.
He's a semifinalist for this upcoming Hall of Fame class. And if he stays on the Colts practice squad for the rest of the year, he still is eligible to get in. If he is signed to the active roster, his Hall of Fame eligibility resets. He'd have to wait another 5 years. And honestly, before we talk about the Colts season outlook, I kind of just I had this thought years ago. What if someone retired, made the Hall of Fame, and then came back? Because Phillip Rivers is a first ballot is in his first ballot, a semifinalist for the Hall of Fame. So what if he had just waited one more year? What if he got in this year, theoretically, which I don't think he will. I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But what if he had gotten in this year, and then next year he decided he wanted to come back and play? Or better yet, he finishes out this year on the Colts practice squad, gets into the Hall of Fame, and then he's signed to the Colts active roster for week 1 next year.
I don't think there's any rules stopping a Hall of Famer from doing that. All I know is that being a semifinalist doesn't mean anything.
No. Even being a finalist.
Torrey Holt has been a finalist for, I believe it has been a decade straight at this point. He has been a Hall of Fame finalist and has not gotten in yet.
I mean, look, Torrey Holt, excellent player, will eventually make the Hall of Fame.
Will it be in his lifetime?
Yeah, probably. I would say so. But unfortunately, this year, just as far as skill position guys go, Larry Fitzgerald, Jason Witten, Frank Gore, all deserve to be first ballot Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
This is a really, really tough Hall of Fame class. You're only allowed to let 8 guys in per
Yeah.
year. And I'm going to pull up the semifinalist list so we can talk about this a little bit. We'll probably have to restart the headlines. We've gotten sidetracked. This is becoming a VOD exclusive very, very quickly.
I mean, yeah, this is a really, really tough Hall of Fame class, and I believe Drew Brees is not eligible this year. I believe he is eligible next offseason.
Let's see. Nope, Drew Brees is eligible this year.
So we've got Drew Brees, most certainly first ballot.
Yes.
We've got Frank Gore, most certainly first ballot.
Larry Fitzgerald.
We've got Larry
certainly.
Fitzgerald, most certainly first ballot.
Luke Kuechly is a debatable first ballot.
I don't think it's debatable. I think he should be first ballot.
I agree,
because it's a Calvin Johnson kind of retirement.
He didn't really play long enough, but even Megatron didn't get in first ballot, I don't think. Oh, yes, he did. Yeah, he did. Never mind. So Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Frank Gore, Luke Kuechly. Let's see, Terrell Suggs, is he a first? No, he was on the ballot.
No,
last
yeah, he was
year.
on the ballot last season.
Jason Witten,
but even then, Terrell Suggs is deserving.
Vince Wilfork, or no, I'm sorry, Kevin Williams. I don't know who that is actually, and maybe that's anti-ball knowledge on my part. And then Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning are both debatable Hall of Famers. I think they'll both get in eventually. They just have to wait for a weaker class.
I think Eli will get in. I don't know if Phillip will ever get in. And I feel like that sounds crazy.
If Phillip comes back and wins the Colts a Super Bowl this year, if Phil Rivers wins a Super Bowl with the Colts this year, that cements him as a Hall of Fame quarterback. I don't care. Being 44, not having played football in 5 years, coming off the fucking couch and winning a Super Bowl in December?
Yeah.
I don't care if Jonathan Taylor is Super Bowl MVP. I don't care if Phillip Rivers throws the ball twice for 0 completions and an interception in the Super Bowl. Winning that Super Bowl makes him a Hall of Famer.
In that scenario, it would kind of remind me of the Melvin Gordon Chiefs ring.
Yeah.
Except people would know Phillip Rivers is on the Colts.
All right. Well,
anyway.
That's a thorough sidetracking. Back to the headlines. Colts season outlook. It's bad.
It's not good. I mean, they started 8-1 and are now on what has become a 4-game slide and are no longer the leader of their division.
No longer the leader of their division, no longer in control of their own destiny.
And that is a really difficult situation to be in because it seems like the team changed overnight, which is scary. I mean, it feels like the offense specifically has not been anything close to what they were early in the season.
Well, and worth mentioning that early in the season they had one of the easier schedules in the league.
Yeah, but
right?
even still,
they got the Titans. Nope, that's last year. Never mind. NFL preseason. They got the Dolphins in week 1. The Broncos are not an easy win by any means. They beat them in week 2. And then Titans, Cardinals, Chargers without Joe Alt, Titans. But were their next 5.
But even still, it seemed like putting up 30 to 40 points was automatic in the beginning of the season, and they are no longer. It feels like they're struggling to get 3 first downs.
Yeah, they have not put up 30 points in the last 3 weeks. All losses to the Colts, Texans, and then Jaguars. Shit's gotten real quick for the Colts, and it's gotten real bad.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this a little bit off camera. It's very reminiscent of the 2021 Chargers with Carson Wentz. Early in the season, this team, and in the middle of the 2020 season, the Colts were a team that nobody wanted to play in the playoffs. And they hit the end of the season, and it's looking increasingly likely that the Colts are a team that no one is going to have to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I mean their final 4 games
They're not easy.
It doesn't get any easier. They've got the Seahawks this week, then they've got the Niners next week, the Jaguars the week after that, and then the Texans in Houston to finish the season.
So 10-win team, 9-win team, 9-win team, 8-win team. The Colts could still finish third in this division.
Yeah.
I have them finishing last at the start of the year. I would feel mildly vindicated if they finished in third, despite how hot they started. I had the Texans winning the division. I don't think that'll happen. I had the Jaguars in second. I think they'll probably win it.
I mean, it's a little bit reminiscent to me of the 2020 Steelers or the 2021 Cardinals, where they just started super hot, and then started to break apart in the later part of the season, and then were first round exits. But with this team, I don't think they're going to have to worry about being a first round exit with the way that it looks.
It really doesn't look that way. And Riley Leonard, Notre Dame legend, lost to the college football national championship last year. Phillip Rivers hasn't played football in 5 years. Riley Leonard did not do much to instill confidence in the time that he got.
No. Which is why Phillip Rivers received a phone call.
Right. And relying on 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, not ideal at minimum.
Yeah.
And really shitty.
To me, it is a desperation hope.
Yeah.
To put together some pieces that are remaining from their start of the season. And who knows? Phillip Rivers hypothetically could come back and put together some really quality football. Will that happen? Probably not. But
it could happen.
It could happen, and that potential of could is what I suppose is giving hope right now.
I feel bad for the Colts. I predicted before the season started that perhaps the Colts would phone down to Atlanta and check in on Kirk Cousins. Now, obviously, this was before Daniel Jones went on that early season tear.
Yeah.
And at midseason, it would have been preposterous to suggest that the Colts should try to trade to bring in a veteran quarterback. But I feel like they might have missed out because
maybe.
I mean, the Falcons are certainly happy to have Kirk on roster with Michael Penix down.
Yeah.
But if the Colts had brought in Kirk Cousins before the season started, or, I don't know, if they had signed Aaron Rodgers or something, it's a lot easier to see this team being competitive in the back half of this, in the Final Four of this year. And unfortunately, they have 4 really tough games.
Yeah.
2 at home, 2 on the road, and that sucks. That just really fucking sucks. And they traded 2 firsts for Sauce Gardner on a team that is not going to contend this year.
They went all in this season, and especially with that move at the deadline for Sauce, it was like, oh shit, the Colts want to win this season. Like they feel like they've got it, and
their
it feels
been
like
in a tailspin
it feels
since.
like it feels like since then they just haven't been able to put together what it needs to be a win. And I mean, most of these losses that they've had on this slide haven't been bad losses other than the Jaguars last week.
Right.
I mean, you lose by 4 points to the Texans. You lose by 3 points in overtime to the Chiefs. Then you are able to get the win right before the bye, but then the game before that, you lose to the Steelers by 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
And it's been some close, heartbreaking losses for them.
And there's no really easy segue into this, but from perhaps the biggest losers of the week to 2 of the biggest winners of the week, the Giants and the Panthers won their bye weeks.
Yeah.
They did not play a football game. The Giants moved into position for the first overall pick. So great, we swapped out one team that doesn't need a franchise quarterback for another. And the Panthers are now officially tied for first place in the NFC South. And not only that, their earlier season loss to the Saints is no longer haunting them.
No.
Now, if they had beaten the Saints, they would be in first place. They would be alone in first place. But the Bucs also lost to the Saints. And that's really good for them. I mean, the Giants, the higher the Giants draft pick is, the more attractive a landing spot it will be for head coaches. And the Panthers, I mean, you got to try, right? You have to try to capitalize on the momentum that you're building. I fired off a tweet during the Saints-Bucs game that the Saints have quietly become this year's version of last year's Panthers.
Yeah, maybe.
Where they can be really, really annoying and stick around against teams they have no business sticking around against.
Yeah.
Carolina and Tampa Bay both fit into that category. It's a little more narrow in scope than last year's Panthers were. Last year's Panthers took the Super Bowl champs and the Super Bowl runner-ups to the brink. The Saints have not quite achieved that, but Tyler Shugg has turned in some really solid performances. Another one this week, and you just got to hope that the Saints and the Panthers will figure it out, and the Bucs will figure it out.
And I mean, Tyler Shugg has put together some quality football games, and to me, it kind of reminds me of the Davis Mills and Houston situation. Of he's probably not going to be your guy to try to get you a championship, but I don't think he's a bad bridge guy.
No,
He is someone that I think you want to keep around, especially maybe after that rookie contract, just because of the fact that he's a quality backup, and if he's still there, he's been in the system for a long time, and he might be able to pick you up a couple wins after you get your guy, and if he goes down or is dealing with some week by week injuries, he might be able to go out there and pick you up a win or two. And I like what Tyler Shugg has done. I don't think he's going to be the guy for New Orleans, but I think he could most definitely find himself a career.
And, I mean, New Orleans obviously would probably love to keep him in the building, but who says it has to be with New Orleans?
Yeah.
What he's shown is that he can take a talent-deficient offense and be competitive. The NFC South as a whole is growing towards becoming a more interesting division. It's been the least interesting division in the NFL for a few years now. And finally, we are angling for some momentum for them to not be so dog shit anymore. Except for the Falcons.
I am interested to see how this NFC South is going to shake out, because the Panthers and the Bucs both play the Saints one more time this season. They also still have the games to play against one another. And these last 4 weeks are really, really going to be huge, especially for this division, especially between the Panthers and Bucs and their head-to-head games. I'm curious to see how it's going to turn out. And, I mean, I think everybody and their grandma had the Buccaneers winning this division at the beginning of the season. I don't think anybody expected this kind of turnaround from the Panthers.
I had the Panthers finishing in second in the division.
Did you have them with a winning record, or did you have them at 8-9?
I think I had them making the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah. I think they were my 7th seed in the playoffs in my NFC predictor video. There will be a fact check for that right here. Sorry, Holt, I'm making you dig through YouTube videos. I'm just kidding. I'm going to send him the document that has the script and my playoff seeding predictions for the year. That wraps up our headlines. I started to write one about the Chargers, but just didn't. The AFC West. Well, actually, here's one more headline. The Chiefs are officially eliminated from AFC West contention.
Yeah.
It is either the Broncos or the Chargers division.
And have...
Kansas City can't afford to lose again if they want any hope at making the playoffs.
No, I mean, right now, you've got the Bills, Texans, Colts, and Chargers, you've got 4 teams that just have a better record than you. And you've got 2 more teams that have a tied record with you, being the Dolphins and the Ravens. Granted,
who saw that coming from the Dolphins, by the way?
Well, I mean, I didn't think
Based on the way they started their
I
year?
didn't think the Dolphins were going to be like a 3-win team. I expected them to be around where they are, a little bit under 500. But the Dolphins and Ravens have the same record as the Chiefs. The Chiefs do have the tiebreaker over the Ravens,
And the Colts.
and they do have the tiebreaker over the Colts. But the Colts have 2 games on the Chiefs. You've got 6 teams that are competing with you for a wild card spot. The Chiefs can't. The Chiefs can't lose.
Yeah.
If they want a chance at the playoffs, if you lose one more,
You need a lot of shit to go right.
your chances drop to less than 1%.
Well, and the Chiefs' schedule, it's not terribly difficult, actually, in the Final Four. Chargers at Chiefs is going to be interesting, but then the Chiefs go to travel the Titans, and then they're at home against Denver, and then they travel to Vegas. Feasible to go 3-1, 2-2 in this stretch. If you go 3-1, though, sucks, idiot. Sorry to hear that. Congratulations on having a 9-8 record. Everyone else did better than you.
Yeah, and of those 6 teams that they're competing with, they need to beat 4 of them. And if they lose to the Chargers, they're not. The Chargers are going to be better than them.
Yes, which might actually eliminate them from playoffs.
If the Bills get one more win, they're better than you. And if the Texans or the Colts get 2 wins out of their last 4, they're going to be better than you.
Right.
I mean, the chances already are extraordinarily slim for Kansas City. And especially with this upcoming game against the Chargers, they cannot lose. Especially this one. You cannot lose.
All 4 of their remaining games are must-wins. And that's where it becomes so tough because you have 3 division opponents remaining in your final 4 games. And let's not pretend that the Raiders are good.
They'll probably pick up the win against Las Vegas.
And they'll probably pick up the win against Tennessee. But those are teams that could, theoretically, pull off some crazy upset miracle win, tank their own draft stock against Kansas City when they play them. And, God, what a microcosm of the Chiefs season that would be. If the Chiefs go 2-2, which is what I believe is the most likely in this stretch, then they will have finished with a losing record.
Yeah.
For the first time. It won't just be the first time the Chiefs have missed the playoffs. It'll be the first time they've done any worse than the AFC Championship game in the Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid era. And that's crazy. It was already crazy.
Yeah, that is true.
It was already crazy that that's true at all. They only missed the Super Bowl once. Or twice in that time period.
They lost to the Patriots. And then they lost to the Bengals.
Yes. So they've only missed the Super Bowl twice in the Mahomes-Reid era. They've never missed the conference championship. This year, they're in danger of not even making the fucking playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. And that's what a slow start will do to a team.
It is a little bit crazy, but I'm not shocked by it. And I'm not shocked by it for a couple of different reasons. The first of which is that the team was highly injured coming into the season in the beginning of the year. They were very, very injured on offense. And despite that, Patrick Mahomes was still finding a way to be successful. And the second reason is that I don't think that, and I don't think this is exclusive to Patrick Mahomes, I don't think any player can really put their entire team on their back because it's football. It's not possible. And as good as Patrick Mahomes has been at times this season, there have also been a lot of very low moments and a lot of low games for him and the offense in general. And that's why I'm not really that shocked by their struggles this season.
And with that, we will move on to our weekly awards. We did fill out the whole slate this week. Unk still got it. Aaron Rodgers, 23 of 34, 284 yards, 2 total touchdowns. Something that's very funny is his total yardage count did not change. He ran the ball twice for 0 yards and a touchdown.
What was it?
It was a victory formation kneel.
That Jerome Bettis. That
Jerome Bettis. 3 for -5 and
it was 5 attempts for, I think it was 2 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Great week from Rodgers. Helped in a controversial win over the Ravens. I think that was a catch by Isaiah Likely.
To me, that one is so on the fence that
the ruling on the field was touchdown, right? They probably shouldn't have
overturned my stance on that kind of controversial call is that when it's that controversial and it's not like it is not concrete, you can clearly see that the call was wrong. Just let the call on the field stand.
Yeah.
That's the kind of sports fan I am. I think they should have let the call on the field stand, but it didn't, and the Ravens fell to the demonic 6-7 record.
Big man of the week, a repeat name, Jordan Davis, 1.5 sacks, 6 total tackles. Had a huge day. Should have had another 1.5 sacks against Justin Herbert, who played really, really well despite being pressured on pretty much every single drop back. Jordan Davis, I see you. I love you. I recognize you. Please don't leave. I don't.
Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis is the embodiment of the big man.
I agree. Well, and especially in a week that Jalen Carter was out, this is a really, really good performance. Yeah,
because when Jalen Carter goes out, all the attention from the offensive line this game was pointed at Jordan Davis, but he still, despite the loss, Jordan Davis himself played a really phenomenal game. So congratulations to Jordan Davis.
Really, I think there were 21 outstanding performances in Philadelphia or in Los Angeles by Philadelphia, and there was one guy who turned it over 5 times, including twice on one play. And there was some coaching malpractice by the offensive coordinator as well.
That's the usual by Kevin Pizzulo, but
I'm only a little bit salty. We differ on our NFC Player of the Week, and for once, I actually do get to call you a homer. My NFC Player of the Week was JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, 7 grabs, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just solid, really super solid stat line.
I didn't go with an individual player this week. I went with a unit. I went with the Rams offensive line. They just completely and utterly dominated this game. I mean, the team rushed 33 times for 253 yards. That is 7.6 yards per carry for the team, split between Blake Corum and Kyron Williams, and 3 touchdowns on the ground as well. They also allowed 0 sacks, and they also allowed under 5 pressures. This game was just an absolutely ridiculous performance of the Rams offensive line. They completely dominated it in every facet, so congratulations.
AFC Player of the Week, we were unanimous. And here I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent about coaching, as I'm prone to do, honestly. Shador Sanders, AFC Player of the Week, 23 of 42, not the most efficient performance, but 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Far and away the best game we've seen a rookie play this year, and I don't think that's a particularly controversial statement. Kevin Stefanski. What the fuck, man? No. Look at me. What the fuck, man? You had him. You had a potentially game-tying touchdown that your quarterback threw. and then you took your quarterback off the field for the would-be game-tying 2-point conversion attempt? Are you fucking serious? We talked about this before the cameras are on. This is the definition of getting too cute.
I don't even want to imagine the frustration that Browns fans are feeling right now.
I'm not even a Brown. I mean, I'm a fan of A.J. Brown, but I'm not a Browns fan. This pisses me off. What the fuck? I saw that happen, and I was like, this is a game that should have gone to overtime. These are two.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
These are two bad teams that played an entertaining game, and
you wanted to see more?
I wanted to see more of it. I wanted to see more of Titans-Browns. Imagine saying that coming to this season. I wanted to see more of Titans-Browns, and I just... You robbed me of that, Kevin. I wanted to see your team play more football, and you robbed me of that.
If you don't know what Coop is currently referring to, the Browns and Shedeur Sanders were able to drive down the field against the Titans late in the game and were able to score, but needed a 2-point conversion to tie the game. They went for it, except the strange thing was that Shedeur Sanders was not on the field. We were talking about this a little bit before camera. It was an example of a coach just trying to be too creative with the play call, and sometimes simplicity does win.
Well, and I think now if the play call had been run as instructed, we might have different feelings about it. Quinshon Judkins took the direct snap, failed to pitch it. He was supposed to pitch it. Yeah. Instead, it ended up being kind of a blown play. But that, to me, just indicates that it shouldn't have been called. Like, obviously, it worked in practice if they're even trying it in the game time scenario. That was a really dumb a question that a reporter asked Shedeur. Obviously, it worked in practice if they're running it in the game. But it feels like there probably was a sign at some point that they weren't ready just yet to run that play in a game time scenario. And it's one thing to run that on the goal line to score the first game-tying touchdown. Yeah. Like, if it's 7-0 and you drove down the field, it's one thing to try that on the goal line there and fail it. It's another thing when the game is on the line. You want to call a standard play call, maybe slant, hook, and curl.
Honestly, pro-tanking move by Kevin Stefanski.
Pro-tanking move. It's
making it look making it look really, really convincing. So good job. Good job there, Kevin.
I can't wait for 2026 Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator Kevin Stefanski.
Don't tell me Chris Shula is going to be the Browns coach.
God, that would be funny.
I don't want to see that.
That'd be nasty, actually. With how good the Browns defense already is, adding Chris Shula on top of that. Anyway.
On the other
side of the spectrum.
Side of the coaching spectrum, this week, our coach of the week, we've got Kellen Moore this week.
We've talked about it a lot.
Yeah, we have talked about it a lot this season, that the Saints are a very well-coached team. They've got a good coaching staff, and the head coach is Kellen Moore, and who we picked for our coach of the week. You go into Tampa and are underdogs, as they should be, and you pull off the upset in a great way.
It's the second time they've gone on the road into a divisional game and upset one of their divisional opponents. Yeah. Really, really, really good coaching job by Kellen Moore. Tyler Shough played a pretty good game. His stats weren't really eye-popping enough to justify giving him NFC Player of the Week. He threw for less than 200 yards. Didn't even throw for a touchdown. Ran 2 in, though, and just an example of a player being made better by his coaching situation. Tyler Shough, not bad at Louisville at all, but the Kellen Moore Saints are going to benefit greatly from
Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kellen Moore is a great coach. He's doing the best with what he's got, and he did a really great job pulling off the upset this week along with the rest of his team being the New Orleans Saints. So congratulations to Kellen Moore. You've got our coach of the week. And our last award is our chart of the week. And we've got Joe Burrow. Yes, he threw 2 interceptions, but he also threw for 4 touchdowns and really had a nice we've talked about it if you haven't noticed the pattern already. We like nice, evenly distributed patterns. Joe Burrow did a really good job this week spreading the ball around to different spots of the field, including the 2 deep right touchdowns and mid-range left touchdown. Just a just a great game by Joe Burrow. Beautiful chart. So congratulations to Joe Burrow.
And that will wrap up our headlines. I'll review our yearly records. I talked about our weekly records earlier. But our weekly records, just to recap, I went 7-6 on the week. You went 6-7.
The cursed demonic record.
We're just gonna let that one hang in the air for a second, I think. Yearly records, though, I am 94-62. I am 6 games away from having predicted 100 games correctly. And I am plus 32. I'm 32 games north of 500, which feels incredible. You are 87-69. You are plus 18. And you are 13 games away, which is a very achievable number. I think we'll both get to 100 this year. But very, very, very achievable for you to get 13 over the final 4 weeks here of the season. And we really are in the home stretch, folks. I mean, weeks 15, 16, 17, 18, and then we're out. And most of the week 18 games are not terribly good games. Packers,
because
Bears,
it's a lot of divisional matchups with one of the top teams versus one of the bottom teams of the division. That's normally what happens in the Week 18 slate. At least that's the pattern we've seen from the 18-week NFL season. But I'm very excited to see how the rest of the season pans out. I know you are as well.
Yeah, we'll see if my team can fucking get it together. Please, please, fire him, fire him, fire him.
Thank you guys so much for watching this week's edition of Any Given Sunday Headlines. We will see you on the main podcast. All of our social medias, our Instagram, our Twitter, our TikTok, all will be linked in the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next week.